Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm Professor Spira, and happy Thanksgiving. What I'd like to do in this video is look at a compilation of some Black Friday fights and tramplings and just all of the trappings of a good pus and mucus eating lifestyle that I guess this was kind of like how anthropologists used to go into foreign people, go to people in Africa or people that they didn't understand, and they would sort of look at them as savages and that kind of thing. And I won't say that, but what I will say is that pus and mucus eating is the foundation of this material mythology, or the belief in materialism, as if all of these things that you're wanting to buy at a bargain, that you're willing to risk your life and limb to gain, as if they have some inherent real value outside of just one thing. A lot of these things people are fighting over Xbox games and videos, and basically fighting over the very things that will hypnotize them further into a drunken stupor of mucus and pus eating ignorance. So, as you've seen, a couple of these videos are, I'm letting it out a little bit more hardcore. Oftentimes, I hold back a bit because I want to, I want people to, kind of learn, understand these principles, not be repelled, that kind of thing. But sometimes you just gotta let it out. And basically, I'm sort of sharing with you what I share with my friends or people that are interested in the diet. I will reveal this type of thing to them, or kind of, whether it be slaughterhouse videos or this kind of thing. For me, it's actually a part of the learning process. It's a part of the unconditioning. We have to deconstruct and uncondition and recondition ourselves into understanding something that's more rational, something that is based on a mucus-free lifestyle. So when I look at this, I just observe. I first affirm that I'm a mucus addict. I'm trying to get off of my mucus addiction, but I'm looking at what my mucus addiction used to do, the kinds of environments that mucus eating fosters. And again, I put that down on anything. Take pus and mucus out of the equation. All these people that you'll see in these videos, the one thing that they all have in common, they are all pus and mucus eaters. You're not going to see a fruit eater or a mucusless person putting themselves in this type of environment to do this kind of thing. At least I've never seen it. Maybe I could be proven wrong. Somebody that's practiced a diet for 30 years, there's only a few of them that I know of. So if Brother Air calls me up and says that he wanted to go buy something and was in one of these situations, then I will have to retract my statement. But as far as I can tell, you're not stimulated to put yourself in these kind of environments when you're into the Mucusless diet. Definitely if you're fasting or you're mucusless or whatever, there's nothing that you could buy that's that important that you could, they don't have Concord grapes on sale, like free. As I was trying to think of things that would actually get me to want to show up to an environment like this, for some kind of price. And it would definitely I wouldn't be buying it. It would be something that they'd be giving away. And I still wouldn't probably do it. If they were giving away pallets of Concord grapes and organic black table grapes, that's the only thing I could think of where I would actually consider maybe going down and like, okay, I want that. But I don't know. So this is totally insane. So let's have a little fun and watch some of the debauchery that is post-Thanksgiving. It's almost like after you've eaten all of this mess on Thanksgiving, you have to get it out of your system. So what better way to get it out of your system than to go riot? think they was fighting over food or something. They was starving people. I'll pause it there. So this is one of the more mild ones. Started off kind of mild. We haven't seen people getting bloodied up yet and trampled, and if people die. And it blows my mind that we can almost expect it. We can expect that on Good Black Friday, they're gonna somebody's gonna die. Somebody's going to be trampled because they haven't put any kind of mechanisms in place to really prevent that from happening. It's just, at this point, it's just accepted. It's collateral damage because greed and the wanting to take advantage of, capitalism, take advantage of people's money, their just the whole materialism mythology as being the foundation, as being the true god of a lot of pus and mucus eating people. That is what's important. So collateral damage, if some pregnant woman gets trampled or some kids get kicked or police need to, crack a few heads, it's all fun. It's all well and good. It's all part of the American dream. It's sickening to me. And people wonder why I have such a strong conviction about this, about these topics, about Mucusless diet, about health, about wanting to live a life that's diametrically opposed to everything that this stands for. Yes, I come from this, but yes, I can overcome this. I can rise above this. Just because you're born into something doesn't mean that you have to stay there. That's not, to me, what life is about. Life is about elevation, not getting sucked down into this thing, not just because you're born in a certain society or a certain situation that you can't make changes that fundamentally affect the fabric of the universe. Because if you want to change the world, then the first place you can start is change what you eat. You can't change what other people eat, but you can change what you eat. And I've practiced Mucusless diet for 11 years, and I could probably do the math of how many cows have lived because I stopped eating meat. How many chickens have been able to live. And then if you don't eat them, somebody else will eat them. No, I didn't eat them, so there's some of them that did not get eaten. And there's a lot of other people that are not eating as much of the mess, and those animals are able to survive. And one day we need to return back to where we are. Most of us don't eat our cats and our dogs. And we live with them. So why can't we live with our cows? Why can't we live with, there's a lot of cute pigs. I love pigs. They're cute. I want to live with them. I don't want to eat them. And so let's see, what else do we got? that's sort of about that. To me, one of the reasons why this kind of analysis is important is because too often when we use the word riot, the first thing people associate with the word riot is black people in the 60s or in the 70s, which really weren't riots at all. They were uprisings. If you would get into definitions, the definition of an uprising would be something that has a political basis. There was a political reason for why people were, destroying in some cases, their own property and all that kind of stuff. But this kind of thing to me is more of a riot where there's no political basis for this, unless I guess you could argue the politics involved in Black Friday is the politics of each individual to get their hands on as much stuff that is not really that cheap. It's not that. I mean, there's ways that you could get a lot of this stuff just as cheap, but those aren't the conventional methods of going about getting this stuff. But for my analysis, in my eyes, I'm looking at this stuff as riot.
The holiday shopping season got off to a violent start. A temporary Walmart worker was trampled to death by shoppers eager for post-Thanksgiving bargains.
I mean, this should not be normal to us, like hearing that. Somebody was trampled to death, all because thousands of people wanted to get together, act a fool, and run in and get a bunch of material goods that they don't need. Somebody's life was lost. We can't let that get normal. We can't not feel sick to our stomach when we see that or hear that or we're in the same proximity as that. This is not the world that I want to live in. But what am I going to do about it? Do you want to live here? See, we got to cohabitate with this. And that's why we have to be so knowledgeable, be so strong in our convictions, because we're in the same environment as this. Total irrationality, total insanity that's built upon pus and mucus eating.
About 2,000 people waited outside this New York Walmart before it opened early on Black Friday. Witnesses said once the doors opened, the impatient crowd knocked the worker down, and then some shoppers stepped over him and streamed into the store on Long Island. Dozens of store employees tried to help the man, but it was too late. At least 4 other people, including a woman who was 8 months pregnant, were treated for minor injuries. The store was closed for several hours after the incident. Investigators said they were reviewing surveillance videos, and some said criminal charges are possible in the case.
That's another silly thing. So people getting trampled, people dying, we can watch that. That's okay. But don't say a naughty word. Don't say a word that we've been socially conditioned to believe is nasty and dirty. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. sitting here with my mouth open, just still blows my mind. The point that I sort of didn't finish because I got off on talking about uprisings versus riots is oftentimes we don't see the white bread America, the suburban America. We don't put them in that same light that we might put people that are struggling for civil rights or people that are slanging dope on the street, in a impoverished community or something. We don't equate that for some reason that looks different when somebody in the suburbs or somebody that has some money, when they snort some cocaine or they do some crystal meth, for some reason that's looked at differently than when a crackhead does it in a impoverished place or a homeless person or something like that. And that's all looked at differently than this madness. So it's And the thing is, see, some people actually look forward to this. They enjoy it. It's like once a year, this is part of their, it's becoming part of their ritual where it's like going to a football game or something, but they get to participate in the football game. They get to, run around and smile. And some of the people that get interviewed after these tramplings, they're laughing and happy and jovial. And, if all the politicians, all these people want to criticize and talk mess about rap music or historically all kinds of forms of music have been considered to be, music of the devil's music and all this kind of stuff, and they try to do legislation to hamper the arts, then I can stand up and I can talk mess about this because this is actually like, so what were all these people listening to? I guess all of these folks were listening to music that was talking about rioting on Black Friday. How many tracks? And is there some Elton John songs that I don't know about that these folks might be listening to? Is there some Tito Puente songs? Maybe Snoop has a song where he's talking about, Black Friday. We got, is Tupac got a track, where he's talking about you gotta trample them good, and you gotta get them before they get you. And it's, oh man. Well, all right. Turn away if you don't want to see something that's a little disturbing. Turn away, but then there's the police. Then that's another layer of insanity that you add to this, where their participation.
Hey, get that shit on camera. Get it on camera. Get it on camera. See how fucked up that thing.
Are you sure that was necessary for shoplifting?
I know, right? Hey, get that. Look, get that shit. Get that shit. Get that shit. You done knocked them up. Job.
He's dying.
Whatever this guy did, they said he was shoplifting. And however he ended up in that condition, it is the definition of brutality of, I didn't see it, but I don't have to see it. Is that happens every day, all the time. It's just not always caught on tape. But it is the definition of injustice. And in order to see, this whole thing is a cycle, and it's a downward spiral. Because you have, on one hand, you have a police state that's ready and willing to keep everybody in check. But as long as you keep all the rats in the cage, they don't have nothing to worry about. They know where you're at. Sheeple 101, sheeple conditioning 101. keep everybody together. Keep everybody, they know everybody's coming to Walmart or, all the Targets and all that stuff. They know where people are going to be at. So they have the cops there, let people get crazy, and then go in there and bust people up so that people know who has the real authority. It's like, yeah, you can run them up. You can even run over some people. You can kill some folks if you want. But we're going to let you know that at the end of the day, we're the ones that's running this. And so it's bad news. And we could watch these all day. There's a ton of these. There's just, you could do a search for Black Friday fights or anything, and you're going to see thousands. So these aren't isolated incidents. And it is a real problem. So now, to lighten up, everybody take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Concentrate on the grapes. Back to nature. We've went into the recesses of mucusdom, and now we're coming out. And when we come out, we will wake up refreshed, be inspired to fast. That's why I show some of this, because it really inspires me to kick up my game. When I see how bad things are, I get real serious, and it makes me want to, first, if there was any bit of consciousness that was thinking that there was anything rational about the pus and mucus world, that reminds me how insane it is. And it keeps me on my path, because every once in a while your consciousness can falter, it can deviate. And so you have to stay steadfast. And sometimes opening yourself up to the realities, for me at least, it can inspire me. Now, some people, depending on where your level of consciousness is, it could depress you or pull you down. So if you know you're that type of person, then you got to put yourself in the right environment, not open yourself up to all that while you're in, there's definitely been modes where I've been fasting or been mucusless or whatever, where I wasn't opening myself up to all of these things. But even with that, with my personality and who I am, I've always been conscious and open to the real reality. Not the fake stuff, not what they taught me at school, but I wanted to seek out how things really were. So that meant that I had to open myself up to some of the nastiest aspects of this world. Not a lot of people want to do that. Not a lot of people are ready for that. So that's on you. It depends on your path. For me, what I found is, without opening myself up to the reality, there's very little, you're limited in the amount of spiritual healing that you can actually have, because this is, whether we like it or not, this is a part of our karma. This is a part of our reality. And you're either going in the other direction or you're still participating. You're still, even if you're indirectly participating. So to try and build up my own good karma, I make sure that I have nothing to do with the madness, and do everything in my power to stay steadfast in my desire to become totally mucusless and to overcome this insanity. As Brother Air says, to put this entire history, this entire chapter, this entire society in the dustbin of history. It's time to build a new era. It's time to overcome this intensive ignorance and get into a mucus-free reality. So I want to thank you for hanging in there with me, and happy Thanksgiving. Peace, love, and breath.
Human race. The winner of this race is the one that doesn't die, and the one that doesn't fly to McDonald's in the sky to order a McDoo-doo on rye, an apple pie, and a stank-ass Big Mac with flies on the side. Yeah, yo. We gotta pursue peace, love, and harmony. The Mucusless Diet Healing System is the only key to a life that is disease-free. Shake down mucus and you'll see that mucus, that sticky, slimy mucus is the bondage just keeps us down. Today's fashion, hospitals' gowns just frown at us clowns as we slicing you down. And don't cry until the blood hits the ground. It's like, get that mucus, get it good. Everybody in the hood, get out the